It's 5:45 p.m., which means it's time for another episode of BCTV's weekly media roundup, 5:45 Live. I'm tonight's host, Adam Hinckley, alongside co-host Roland Boyden.
That's right. On deck tonight, we're going to talk town meeting. We'll prep for this coming Monday's representative town meeting, but we'll also get you footage from the special info session the Selectboard hosted. We'll break down the Nuclear Regulatory Commission's visit to town as they gave some gold stars to Vermont Yankee. That meeting also at the high school, and we'll follow up on a police shooting that resulted in a fatality for one local resident, find out where the case has been transferred to, and much, much more. We'll do it all in 15 minutes or less even. So if you've got the time and the attention span,
stick with us right here
on 5:45 Live.
Today to be in solidarity with not only those impacted by the latest mass shooting, but also to bring awareness to rampant violence against women in the United States and here in our community.
And though no, not all men are violent, yes, all women experience harassment, discrimination, and/or other forms of men's violence during their lives.
Welcome back to this May 30th, 2014 edition of 5:45 Live. That's footage from yesterday's Putney Park gathering hosted by the Women's Freedom Center in Brattleboro, a gathering not just to commemorate the victims of this month's tragic shooting in Santa Barbara, but to recognize the ongoing struggle to end violence against women by exposing the role that an all-too-common, deep-rooted misogyny played in the shooting rampage.
Thanks to BCTV volunteer Maria Dominguez, who was there at Putney Park yesterday afternoon to gather footage from that local gathering. It'll show in its entirety this coming week on BCTV Channel 8, and of course stream at rabble-roused.org. All right, time to follow up on a story that we reported on this past month of May. At the beginning of the month, it was a shooting that happened at Putney Road. We'll start with a 5:45 Live rewind in time, take a look at the footage that came off of the Reformers tout.com channel as the story was first breaking, and we'll follow up on it.
According to Brattleboro Police, there was an officer-involved shooting at roughly 5:30 in the morning on Friday at the America's Best Inn on Putney Road in Brattleboro. There's no more information from police at this time.
I'm here at America's Best Inn on Putney Road in Brattleboro, where we've heard reports that there's been a shooting. I don't have any more information other than that at the moment, but they've got the police tape up.
The Vermont State Police investigation report into the April 4th fatal police shooting of Michael Santiago and Brattleboro has been turned over to the Vermont Attorney General's office and the Bennington County State's Attorney's office for official review. In this case, due to the personal nature of the Windham County State's Attorney Tracy Shriver's working relationship with Bratt PD and Sergeant Mark Kerrigan, the officer who was put on administrative leave last month as part of standard protocol following the fatal shooting of area resident Michael Santiago during a police raid of his hotel room.
Still no word on whether or not there'll be any charges filed based on this investigation. So far, it's all based on standard protocol following a fatality resulting from a police weapon discharge. We'll keep you posted as we find out more. All right, with that, we'll move on here. Time to get you caught up on a series of area meetings that happened this week. We'll start with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission's annual performance review findings presentation that was hosted at the high school this Wednesday. As the federal agency held true tradition with another final evaluation praising the high safety marks the Vernon-based Vermont Yankee power plant has earned its owners, Entergy Nuclear. NRC hearings have traditionally been the focus of area affinity groups working to shut down Vermont Yankee, and while the plant's Q4 2014 operations shutdown date draws ever closer, those on the front lines of the battle against nuclear power on the local level contest that these continued positive NRC findings do more than back the safety of the plant's current operations, but pave the way for future approvals when it comes to the storage of nuclear waste, the idea of which not all residents find appealing.
One of the things that we're going to do in 2014 and are doing, based on the fact that Vermont Yankee is approaching the end of its operating life, is we're focusing our inspection program on aspects of plant operations that might be areas where you could expect to potentially see some backsliding.
It is time for the NRC to post the danger signs outside the fuel pools and begin to swiftly move spent fuel to safer storage now.
Decommissioning has become the word of the night. Decommissioning. We've got how many more months of operation between now and then? And looking at the inspection findings from the past year, there's a lot there that needs discussion.
The NRC, when we say someone's lying to us or giving us this information, is known to be false to them. So because they had said they were going to fix it by April 8th and did not, that's why we wrote the cited violation.
Now, before a disaster occurs. That is the truth.
Now, speaking of special meetings this week, the Selectboard took to the rock climbing wall at Academy School this week, if not for the exercise, at least for the multicolored backdrop for their presentation of a new budget to the members of Brattleboro's representative town meeting governing body, who did already approve an FY15 budget from the board this past March, only to have a last-minute town-wide voting referendum rejected after town reps agreed to move the police fire project forward while stripping away its only direct revenue source, a 1% local option sales tax, leaving town taxpayers to handle bond payments on the $14 million project alone. Now, the Select Board is back with a new budget to show, the product of a month of intense extra meetings, one they hope will get a final seal of approval at this coming Monday's second rep town meeting. Now that $270,000 in year-on payments on the $9 million police fire upgrade project bond have been cut from the budget altogether.
We considered from the very earliest period taking out of the budget the money for the second part of the borrowing for the police fire facility. So the original budget had in it $261,473 for interest payments on borrowing $9 million towards the police fire facility. And so one item that was on for consideration was to take out that $261,000.
Now you can see this coming Brattleboro Representative Town Meeting, Part 2, Revenge of the Town Meeting, this coming Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 2 clicks up the dial on our Government and Education sister channel, Channel 10. It'll be broadcast live from the BAM's multi-purpose room, and we'll get all the town meeting action. You can also find the informational meeting, which really goes into detail on this new FY15 budget. It's already up at BrattleboroTV.org and shows all the rest of this week, again, on BCTV Channel 10. All right, that's enough shameless promotion here. I'll turn it back over to you, Adam, and into the next story.
For our next story, we'll check in with Roland's other often partner in crime at the news desk, aka the guy whose job I took, Joe Bushy, who was at the Brattleboro retreat yesterday to gather footage from their official campaign kickoff press conference, as Stand Up to Stigma was launched, taking the region a step forward, officials hope, when it comes to understanding those seeking mental health treatment, and the struggles and triumphs they undergo.
I don't think I'm alone in this discussion. I think everybody in the room is sitting here thinking about a grandmother, a brother, a sister, an aunt, an uncle that you've known who didn't get treatment when they should have, who was afraid to, who felt that maybe they were weak asking for help, or their community ostracized them, or their families didn't know what to do, or their physician wasn't sure and referred them on to a community mental health center that had a waiting list of 60 to 120 days, and they never got into care. I know I'm not alone. That's why we're doing this today. That's the reason we're here.
All right, we'll move on now. Next Friday will mark the official international launch for local career development consultant turned author and TV producer, Deshae Peacock's debut book, dubbed Create the Style You Crave on a Budget You Can Afford, a home decor-themed look at her patented approach to sweet spot living, an inspirational guide to using the resources at hand to transform your surroundings, a concept that's earned her a publishing deal and a 12-city, 24-day book tour, all of which kicks off right here in Brattleboro with a special launch party slated to reopen the former Adavazi space on Flat Street from 5 to 8 this coming Gallery Walk Friday, with an all-access event that, according to Deshae, is much more than your average book signing.
I want it to feel like you're almost walking into the book, So there'll be, vintage rugs and lamps and a couch, and there'll be little stations where people can kind of roam around, and there'll be a typewriter if you want to write a letter to yourself or to a friend. There'll be a record player. So I think it's going to be a really fun event, and I would like to invite you all to come.
Now you can find more on Deshay, her book, and the blog that's traced much of her creative work in recent years, all at sweetspotstyle.com. You can also find more from our full-length interview special with Deshay on BCTV's official YouTube channel and Facebook page, all linked to on our own official website, brattleboro.tv.org. All right, now we'd be remiss talking upcoming events if we didn't talk Heifer's Slow Living Summit. Let's do that. Now, this all kicks off with the Slow Living Summit opening night at the Latches this coming Wednesday at 6:30. From there, the summit will be jam-packed with events that'll all be recorded to be played back on BCTV later and put on BrattleboroTV.org for our video on demand. Then, of course, it's on to the parade, which is still the pinnacle, the zenith of this here weekend event. The parade is going to kick off Saturday morning, 10 a.m., goes right through downtown, and then it's on to the Commons where they have the expo, Green Living Something Expo. There's also the Tour de Heifer. There's a lot going on that goes along with the strolling of the heifers. For more, you can take a look at a clip now and then find the full interview with WTSA's Tim Johnson with various members of the stroll, including Slow Living Summit General Manager Martin Langeveld and, of course, stroll creator Orly Munzing. Let's take a look at the clip, though.
It's stopping and thinking about yourself, your own health, and your own giving back to the community. That's what slow living is.
Well, folks, it's time for another great news channel. Not as good as this one, of course, but it's UHS TV, and they're so good that they even have a weather report. Now, we don't have one because, Anyway, we're just going to cut to their weather, so here we go.
Tomorrow, it's going to be kind of crappy, rainy, high of 68, low of 41. On Sunday, it's going to be like a really, really nice day, so go outside. 76, low of 48. All right, cool. Back to the desk.
Well, that does it for another episode of 545 Live. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Well, folks, it's time for the next best. Okay. And they have a great weather report.
Where it comes at.
Sorry. I can't. Okay.